Hi guys, we are going live from Taste today. So we have with us
Ashka.
Ashka and Shashank. Yeah, so we'll start with your story first. So first, where you from and how you ended up in Taste. So we just want to know background before you come to Taste, and then we'll talk about your life at Taste.
Okay. Yeah. So I come from Visakhapatnam, the coastal town, the mountain city, the normal things about it. So I did my bachelor's in business administration in Bangalore, Christ College. After which I worked for a couple of years in a HR consulting firm called Aon, and 2 years into my job, I realized, now I need to do something about increasing my, let's say, the typical subject matter expertise. And I thought, let me just explore courses which sort of suit what I've studied and my interest basis. And obviously, this was one of the ones. And afterwards, there were a lot of exams, and you get to experience the interviews also and getting an understanding. Yeah. So I've given almost all the exams, and but when you go for the interviews, you also get an idea of how the program is going to be like. When the professors ask you what are your expectations, and then they say about what the program is about, that is when you get to understand, what this course is really about. Because that's the first time you're actually seeing it from the inside. I mean, you do ask some people who are already in the campus, how is the college? I mean, how are the profs? What's the curriculum like? What is going to be afterwards? But again, the on-day experience of the interview, talking with other candidates, I think that's what gives you a real idea of how the whole campus life is going to be like. So yeah, that's how I am here in this right now.
And how was your journey?
So I hail from a small town called Baroda in Gujarat, and
We're not small, it's top 10.
yeah, it's the second smartest city in the country. But nevertheless, so I'm from Baroda, and I have pursued chartered accountancy. I was working as a project finance executive, and there comes a time in your life, and like the B school bug hits you, and you're like, this is it. I have to give my shot at this. And unlike Shashank or majority of the aspirants, my choices were very skewed down. So organization development, change and leadership was a program that really took my heart away, because the curriculum was so industry relevant, and because our entire batch comes with a work experience, which is a mandatory requirement. So a minimum work experience of 2 years is what you require to come into TIS ODCL. So looking at how the maturity of the students was going to be, and everybody was going to come with a work ex, I really felt settled at this course, and the curriculum was absolutely relevant and fantastic. And I think we are actually looking and seeing how it spans out with the industry. So yeah, I gave TISNET and ZAT. I got through both, but as luck would have it and as my choices would have it, I ended up in TIS ODCL, and I do not regret the decision.
Okay, it started raining now, so we have to move it to inside somewhere. Okay, the first misconception which people have is MBA is different from MA. So do you feel that is one of the problems? Why, or what is the difference between basically which you felt after coming to campus that this is not MBA program, the MA program? So what are the similarities and what are the different? Crowd is obviously same because everyone tried the same programs.
So when you talk about Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Tata Institute is known for its pedagogy and legacy of having Masters in Arts program. It has been in conception since 1954, and till date we call it MA in whatever program specialization you do. The reason being, it also equips you and makes you ready for not only the corporate world, but also brings an innate sense of the society, the care for environment, and overall social responsibility that you hold as an individual. So that is one very unique feature, because as an individual you are not only ready to face the corporate world, because the MA programs for management that are here at TISS are as good and second to none when it comes to an B school MBA. But apart from that, what is unique is like our students also have an ideology that they follow. We also have a very strong sense of sociology, economics, psychology. These are beautiful subjects that are inculcated within the course along with the normal corporate subjects. So and the idea is to actually prepare an individual holistically rather than only focus on a placement oriented course.
So I think pretty much same, but some things which are quite different for me. So when she talks about the whole societal aspect, where we are inculcated with the understanding that we need to do something good for the society and not just preparing us for the corporate world, that is something which I totally agree with her. But that's a Tata effect more than an MA effect. For me, how a master in arts is different is our orientation towards research. I mean, a lot of colleges do go about saying that, there'll be a dissertation in your final semester. We are a research-oriented program. I think I've really seen what a research-oriented program means. I mean, I think before this, I never read a single article on anything. I mean, I just look at the abstract and okay, I'm done with it. But this pedagogy actually makes you go through them. And I mean, of course, there's nothing like a PhD, but it gives us a mini teaser of how the life is when you are oriented towards research. And the Master in Arts program, I think that ensures that we have this orientation, we take it really seriously. I mean, actually, all of last night I was also preparing on my dissertation, so that's also a recency effect. But I was like, well, this is MA, so this is something which I'm going to get, which is different from everything else.
So one more misconception that TIS mean HR. That's one of the biggest misconception everywhere. So I'll ask you two questions combined together. Number one, how will you rank them, if you can rank them, or there's no ranking among them? Because outside market, people always ask me which one we should rank first. Unko TIS jana hai. They don't care about which program they get into TIS. So if you can give us some insight about like which program to select in general, or which are the good program or like that.
So when you talk about TIS HRMLR, it is definitely one of the most impactful courses because it has been, with TIS and in the legacy since the last 52 years. And it has been a tremendous successful course for Tata Institute. And we also have the TIS social work, which is equally important and impactful and successful when you talk about it in the industrial circles. What makes you choose a course or a program should be based on how do you see it as a career. So if you're looking at a career in human resources and labor relations, maybe you should join TIS HRMLR. If you have this strong, need or desire to make an impact on the society, you can go for TIS social work or all the array of, different social work alternatives MA programs that they provide for.
So there are some things which you might never hear. So there is something such as women development, child care, I mean physical disability studies, disaster management. Again, disaster management is actually a new age course. There is something also on climate change.
Water preservation.
Yep, and also public administration. Then there is regulatory governance, which is sort of taking up the mantle nowadays that every organization should have a regulatory governance personnel. So in many ways, this actually looks at the industry and finds out what is the current requirement, what is the need, and that's how it starts off. I think even OD is something of that sort. Being one of the first course ever in India, and according to some people, Asia, which... So it's organization development, change, and leadership, which is ODCL. So this program was started with the anticipation of changes in the market. I mean, nowadays you see so many things changing in the industry. You see the technology, the rapid pace at which it's changing. I think, globalization and all, it's been there for a while. But again, how companies now have this knowledge base, which is common for all, and that's ensuring them to change quite quick. In these situations, how do organizations equip themselves in a way that they can modify themselves to survive, thrive? I mean, that's all about OD, developing the organization and ensuring that the change goes on smoothly. So yeah, again, futuristic that way, I would like to say.
Okay, now if we talk about HR program, HR and global, what is the global leadership? HR/LR, labor relationship, and ODCL. These two programs, which I feel are more connected with the corporate world. Yes. But if you look at the other programs, change management, disaster management, I personally feel, or that's some misconception I might be having, is that they are mainly suited for either government job or the consulting role. Because I doubt any of the corporates will hire these kind of MAs. So what do you feel about that point of view? Are you getting my point? What am I pointing?
Yes. So I completely get what you're trying to say, and the beauty of TISS is that every course has a different career path that you're taking, and that was the point I was making earlier as well. So when you choose a course among the 55 plus courses that are there that TISS offers, look at it not only as a program that you're going to pursue from a point of view of education, but what is it that you're looking forward to, right? Are you going to make a career out of it? So if you talk about a disaster management program or a water policy or a women and child development, definitely it's in the social sector, it's in the social part of it, or the CSR sector if at all it is to be related to the corporate world. The School of Management and Labor Studies has 4 courses. There is social entrepreneurship, there is globalization and labor, there is HRM and LR, and now there is ODCL. So all the 4 are management based, and all the four cater to different needs. And ODCL is more future oriented. It is more futuristic. It is more about how an organization is now going to, equip itself, coming with the fourth industrial revolution, coming with the digital age, and, half of the processes are going to get automated. Machines and robots are going to take your place. How do you now touch the softer elements? Where do you now set in the strategy system structure? How do you, look at the interaction between the external market and competition with the internal market? And then how do you aim at an org effectiveness? So that is how ODCL is actually focusing on. And to answer your question, yes, some of the courses are very management and corporate centric, and some of them are very niche in social sector. So again, it depends on the individual and how do you want to contribute to the society?
For example, we have some students, they only want to get into the hospitality management.
Yes.
So they don't want to go in hospital management, so not hospitality, hospital management. So they don't want to do anything else. मैं उनको खुद बोल रहा हूँ कि भाई तू HR apply तो करना ही नहीं, HR करना ही नहीं है. They only want to do, so like you said, so they are very specific. So there's a best part of taste. You have schools for everything.
Yes.
So there, and my thing was that there's a separate school, separate building for everything. But you are in Bombay, you can't get a building for everything. So within one building you have 2 to 3, 4 combined together. So great. So how been your journey in this, the placement point of view, where you see yourself, how TIS is going to help you in that front?
So if you have to say where do I see my journey from here? I mean, see, the summers are already happened. Being second year, I did it from OYO rooms. Yes. So the summers is already done. And when you're looking at the career in the future, so when you're talking about the types of roles that you're looking at, so when you're talking about organization development and change, these are roles which not all the organizations have. But again, when you're looking at organization development, it is an ideology, a way of doing things. So whichever function, if you look at our course curriculum actually, in each semester we look at one major business function. So the first one is operations, second we look at HR, third marketing, fourth finance. So and it's a compulsory for all. It's not going to be a specialization which we're going to focus on. In that way, it is cross-functional. You can be any part of any function which is looking at trying to transform itself, change its systems. But typically where you can see where an ODCL student can see himself would be in a transformation role or a L&D team, anything with respect to development and performance, process innovation, and courses, positions such as this, which are again new age by themselves. She will answer the question.
So we have had a tremendous response, being a course that is in, we'll have the first batch going for the finals soon by the end of this year. And so our summers have been really nice. We had some top conglomerates and organizations join us. There was, like Shashank obviously mentioned, there was OYO rooms, we had Shell, we have Colgate Palmolive coming in, we have Dr. Reddy's coming in, we have Novartis, Nomura, Pidilite. So we have all the top organizations that come for any tier 1B school. So the placements are really looking good. The struggle is a little more, not from placement point of view, but from incepting the course, because it's still in the inception stage and it's still in the initial stage, but the industry response has been fantastic. And I don't think any other program in India gives a master's in organization development, change and leadership. And I think the industry overall is also looking forward to now OD professionals overall. Yeah.
Great. So thank you very much for coming. So it was great having you on board.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.